Hello, in this video I'm going to build LMMS DAW or Digital Audio uh, Workstation for Fedora. So I'm on Fedora and as you can see I am inside the build directory inside the LMMS source tree. But let me start over. All you need to do is to first go to a directory where you want to clone LMMS. Here, first I go and find the source for LMMS project. So it is LMMS on GitHub. This is the project directory. So get the code link using the code button and select either HTTPS or the SSH link, which is not available currently because I am not signed into my account. But I have taken that link before, and if I want to use that link, I type git clone git@github.com LMMS/LMMS, which means LMMS project under the LMMS account. So we go ahead and clone it. However, because I have done the clone before, I cannot clone it. So I go to the directory that is already present inside the LMMS directory. Then here, you need to create a directory called build. So create a directory called build. You can see that I already have a build directory because I have created that directory before. So I go inside that directory. And here, if you have just started building LMMS, you just run this command, cmake space ... This will allow us to create a cmake file in the directory denoted by these two dots, which means the parent directory of the build directory, which means inside the LMMS directory. So because I have done attempts before to build, I need to remove the cmake cache that is already there and then run cmake space ... This process will look for the dependencies that it needs for LMMS, and if it doesn't find, it will tell us. For example, it already told me that it requires Qt5, Qt based devel, and I installed it with sudo dnf install. It also required me to install Qt5, Qt-svg devel. I also installed this package, but the next thing that it doesn't find and it needs to be met is actually this dependency here. You can see find package, could not find the package configuration file provided by Qt5x11 extras. So let's search for Qt5x11 extras in Fedora repositories. See if we can find it. So dnf search Qt5 extras x11 in fact and extras, because I don't know what exactly started the name of the package and what comes after Qt5. I use asterisk before Qt5, after Qt5, and between Qt5 and x11 and other parts. Let's search for it. I enter my password. Okay, good. There are packages actually in Fedora repositories that provide these libraries. So sudo dnf install, this is the one that we need, qt 11 extras devel. So qt5 qtx11 extras devel. Let's install it. There we go. I enter yes, and it goes ahead and installs it. All right. Next, I remove CMake cache again because it is recommended by the project. If you add a dependency, remove the previous cache and run CMake again. So CMake dot dot C. Okay, we still have something missing. It is SND file library. Let's see if we can find SND file library in Fedora repository. So again, DNF search SND file. Let's bring asterisks before it and after it and see if we can find it. Good. Actually, it is present. lib SND file devel. So this time I install lib SND file devel and -y will install it without asking me. Okay, what happened? We had some network issues. Run it again. My internet sucks. That's why sometimes I have this problem. Okay, I'm gonna change my proxy. I'm gonna use a proxy server that is on my system, running on my system, and hopefully this time it will install this stuff. Yes, you can see that it is installing it. Great. Again, I remove the cache and run CMake again. See if we can build this time. Okay, again something missing. This time we miss FFTW, which is for fast Fourier transform stuff that is used in music applications. So let's search for it in Fedora. DNF search FFTW. Don't forget the asterisk because it will help us find it better. Okay, we have a lot of matches. FFTW devel, yes. This time install sudo dnf install fftw devel -y and it will install it for us. You can see it is a very tiny library. It is only 1 megabyte, but it's very important. I think most music and DAW applications rely on fast Fourier transform, which is a mathematical concept that is used in music applications. Okay, again I remove it, CMake cache, and run CMake dot dot. Okay, this time we miss sample rate. Hopefully we can find that as well. So DNF search sample rate. Yes, we have that. Lib sample rate devel. So this time, again, I remove CMake cache. And let's install sudo dnf install lib sample rate devel -y. Oh, it is only 53 kilobytes. You can see it is very tiny, but still critical for LMMS to build. So CMake dot dot again. Let's build it this time. Please build it. Okay, so far, oh, something missing again. Atom. XCB. What is XCB? Let's search for XCB. It is apparently required by our third-party plugin for LMMS. Let's find it anyway. DNF search XCB. XCB devel. Do we have XCB devel? libxcb devel. Yes, we have it. Sudo dnf install libxcb devel. I have no idea why is it used and what is it used for. Oh, it is already installed. So what is the problem? libx11xcb. Oh, I think this is the one that we need. libx11xcb. libx11. Let me check it again. libxcb devel. No. libx11xcb. It doesn't have devel. Let's install it. Oh, it is installed. So what's the problem? What was that error again? Could not find missing atom key sims util. Atom sims xcb. xcb. Okay, let's search for xcb atom. xcb atom. And xcb key sims util library. xcb looks like xcb has several components, several different variants, and we need to find all of them. So xcb atom, xcb key, xcb util. xcb key, yeah, you can see xcb util key sims devel. Let's first install this. Lib xcb kms key sims devel xcb util what was the other one? xcb atom. xcb atom. Let's search for xcb atom. No, it's not here. What is the other one? Let's xcb xcb util xcb atom xcb util. We need xcb util as well. xcb util, probably with devel. Yes, xcb util devel. util devel -y. The next one is, again, let's search for xcb. xcb. We installed already kms key sims util, but no atom. Let's find atom. is not found. Let's remove CMake cache. Run CMake dot dot. Okay, it's going forward. Nice. The configuration was successful. Just one thing that I forgot to mention is that when you perform the clone, you need to do this, which is very important. You need to, let me check the history. When you run the clone command, this command, 1010. How do we run this? Yes, 1010. When you run this command, you need to pass this flag. Sub recurse submodules, because this project has several different submodules, and in order to build successfully, it requires you to recurse submodules, meaning that you need to clone and fetch all the files inside the submodules as well. Otherwise, you will have missing files and the build will simply fail. Okay, after this very important tip, now that we have our configuration done, let's go again here to LMMS and build. Now we run make. If I'm not mistaken, we can run it here. Yes, we have a CMake file here, CMake files, and we should be able to run it. I previously mentioned that the CMake files are inside the parent directory, but looks like I was wrong. The CMake files have been created here. CMake files. Yes, they are in here, inside the build directory. So all you need to do is that you need to run make inside the current directory, which is the build directory, and you can also optionally pass the number of CPUs, the number of cores that your CPU has, so that you can take advantage of parallel compilation and potentially achieve a faster compilation and build time. So let's run this. Make -j. Sorry, I didn't pass the number of cores. You can see that it is building, and because I have a 4th generation processor, it's a Core i7 processor with 4 cores, it probably is going to be quite fast because it's using 4 cores at the same time for building. You can see so far so good. 34%, 35, 40, 60. It is building different targets, and at the end it will link the final binary as our final application. We might also see some errors during the build, but they are usually safe to ignore. I don't know why is that. The build will not fail that easily after the initial configuration was successful. However, it might fail for some other reasons. You can see we had some errors. This was a fatal error, so it was not ignorable. We couldn't ignore that. The build couldn't ignore it. I have no idea how to fix that. Qt4, no such file or directory. Why is that? Qt5, X11 embed, and Qt4 private. Let's see if we can find this dependency, X11 embed. No, it was not found. What about this? No. X11 embed. No, it's not there. Qt4. Looks like we are missing some Qt dependency about Qt core. So search for Qt core. See if we have anything related to Qt core. Qt5. Qt5. How about core? No, unfortunately, no. Why is that? Qt5 X11 embed. Search. This time I search for X11 embed container. What about this? X11. No. Now I'm gonna check the README file for the project. So the project already has a README file. I can check it. It will probably have some instructions which we can find useful. Compiling. Let's go to the link provided for compiling. See if we can find anything about Fedora. Yes. For Fedora, we need these dependencies. So let's run this command and install everything. Sudo already has the sudo command. See if it installs these packages. Oh my god, we have 850 megabytes worth of applications that we need to install. So although that our configuration was successful, we still had a lot of packages to install. Carla devel, Carla VST, Pulsar lib, FLTK devel, FLTK fluid, fluid synth, glibc, LV2, Pulse audio, and Qtbase private devel. I think this is the part that we failed recently. SDK devel, Wine, and Wine devel. I didn't install anything related to Wine so far. So it's probably one of the heaviest packages that we need to install. In order to speed up the download, I'm gonna disable my proxy DNF, and hopefully it will go faster. I add -y so that it doesn't ask me. Oh my god, it doesn't work. I need to have this enabled. My internet really sucks. Fuck Irancell. Alright, it is going forward. We have to wait for the applications to be installed, for these packages to be fetched and installed, and hopefully we will go smoother then. Okay, we finally installed all those dependencies following the command from the documentation for LMMS installation, actually LMMS compilation. And now I'm gonna remove the, no, we already have the CMake cache and the configuration is complete. So I'm gonna just build as before. It will hopefully continue building from where it left off. Looks like it is going forward. You can see that different object files are being created, built, and put inside CMake files slash LMMS objs.dir. And I guess that at the end phase, at the final step, all these object files will be merged, will be linked into our binary application, our final binary application. It's quite fascinating, isn't it? These are, of course, for the core category because the application is big and it has different components. These components are for the core category. Even a small application like LMMS, of course, we can't call it small without looking into source code. The source code and the source base is actually quite huge, and we cannot underestimate any part of it. And I think thousands of people have contributed to the project, uh, and with a couple of them being the main contributors, but in general, thousands of people, I guess, have contributed to this project from its development to its documentation to its graphics and stuff. So from the core category, now we are seeing we passed on, we moved on to the GUI category, and now the files related to the GUI category are being built. These are the object files that are getting built. I think the architecture has changed from its initial version, and it has become more organized. The project has become more organized than its earlier versions. I have been using LMMS for quite a long time. I believe since 2015. But although the project versions and the application versions don't go up very rapidly, but the revisions go up quite fast, and there has been probably major changes and reorganizations in the code. What is the style like doing here? We lost Wi-Fi connection. I don't know why. It's not important. Even with 4 CPU cores, it's taking quite a long time to build different parts of the application. And a huge part of it relates to the GUI component and the GUI category. Okay, now where are we? Now for the tests and linking, generating. Some CPP files are getting generated on the fly. Again, building. Now plugins are getting built. One of these plugins is BitCrush, another BitInvader, Bass Booster. You can see compressor, BitCrush, Carla Bass, crossover EQ, which is new to me. I think it's new. Delay, compressor, crossover EQ, delay. Okay. You can see after the object files are created, they are linked into a library. You can see libcompressor.so. Now these plugins are getting built. Dynamics processor and stuff. Dual filter. Granular pitch shifter. Granular pitch shifter. We are still making the plugins. Again, some CPP files getting generated on the fly. QRC files, I think these are Qt files for resources that are again created on the fly. As you might already know, the technology used for creating LMMS is mainly Qt, and that's why we had a lot of Qt related dependencies, and we are also seeing QRC files, which are resources specific to Qt. Opulence, which is a nice plugin, is getting built. LMMS. Monstro, this is also a nice plugin. Freeboy, a classic plugin. Batman, SFXR. We actually have a lot of plugins already on the stock version of LMMS. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's a good idea, but I think other DAWs also have this. A lot of DAWs already have a lot of plugins packaged with them, and they also allow you to add additional plugins later on. There we go, 97%. We are almost done. Vector scope, wave shaper, Watson, expressive, which is also a nice plugin. I like it. Carla Patch Bay is a big plugin from another project. Carla Rack, 100%. Come on. I think this is the final linking step that our final and main project will be linked. Our final binary will be linked after all the plugins have been built. VST effect. Looks like all of these are binaries. Vector scope. These are all binaries that run as part of LMMS. on demand when they are requested by LMMS. But in general, they are controlled by LMMS. Why is it taking so long? Looks like everything has been done. We are on at 100%, but it is still doing something. We are not sure what. Probably preparing to link all these different components to the main binary, which is LMMS. And because there are a lot of different components and different plugins, it's taking a long time. Yes, there we go. We'll target expressive, the final plugin, and we should be good to go. Now, to run our binary, I use ls. You can see we have LMMS built here. And in order to run it, let's first check the size of it. It's 5 megabytes. Let's see if it is created anew. Yes, you can see it was created just a few moments ago. 1423, a few minutes ago. Let's run it. LMMS. I add an ampersand sign so that it allows me to detach from the terminal. Okay, it is running. LMMS working directory. Let's specify an LMMS working directory. Yes, accept the default one, which is LMMS under documents. Yes. All right, let's accept the default settings. Tooltips enable master oscilloscope by default. Enable all notes, labels, and piano roll. Fader ticks, compact track buttons. I'm not sure about this, but what about the others? Jack. We have different sound systems, including Jack. I think this by default was not Jack previously in previous versions that I tried, but Jack has a little delay and it's more musical friendly, more DAW friendly. Okay. OSS is also good, but it has some delays. I'm gonna go ahead with Jack. And the MIDI interface is Jack MIDI. It is using Jack interface to MIDI. All right, let's accept the paths as the default paths and press OK. All right, we are inside LMMS. Let's give it a try and create something. We don't have any sound. Why is that? I think this is normal for Jack connections. Jack has a little bit of problems. It's actually tricky, not problems. It is a bit tricky. I'm gonna change the sound system to something else. Let's use OSS. Still, we don't hear it. Let's close this. Open it again. I don't hear anything. Okay, I think I'm gonna need to play a little bit, play around in the application and try different settings, and I will be able to bring out some sound from this application and start building music. But the more important part was the building. That was the focus of this video. I hope that you enjoyed this video and found it useful. Take care and see you in the next one.